Let me put this on here to make sure that we have this coming through and making sure that let me just make sure my microphone is on the right one. There we go. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Heart Centered Marketing. It is Tuesday, May 13th, 7 o'clock, or a little bit after 7 o'clock. My name is Joey Ragona. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show because I am super excited for you. I have a practical way of getting research on your dream client, getting the market language that you need, because I hear this all the time about how, what do I say? My message isn't landing, that kind of stuff. And I want to share with you a way to do this really, really quickly. And I know you're going to love this. And then I have a gift to share with you a little bit later. And if you're here live, let me know. I'm just going to look down here on my iPad here just to make sure that I'm seeing what I'm supposed to be seeing. All right, cool. There we go. I got to get all this stuff set up here. So if you're inside of my Facebook group or you're watching on another channel, let me know with the hashtag live or hashtag replay, and I should be able to see the comments. I hope I hit the right one here on the Facebooks in the group, because it's the only way I can see it is by looking down here on my iPad. That's if you're just wondering what I'm looking at. Okay, cool. I've got a couple of documents here that I've got open. Hopefully my tech is all set up the way that it should be to share this information with you. But here's the thing. Years ago, it was 2019, and I started a program called Write Marketing Copy. It was one of my first, I guess, iterations of what I do now, which is Atlas, which is really focusing on marketing to the dream client in a way. Like, how do you write copy? How do you get the message across in a way that totally resonates with your dream client? So it was a copywriting course, but it wasn't really about how to write copy. It was how to kind of hack the system, because I've been writing copy, I don't know, since the early 80s, and still don't call myself a copywriter, but I know enough about it to be good at writing, but I know that a lot of people aren't. So I figured out a way to get them to do some great copy by hacking the system. I'm going to show you how we did it before, and then I'm going to also share with you how we can do it now with the age of AI and speeding things up. I don't like to use the word hack, but basically we're going to, adjust the system a little bit to make it a little bit easier for you. Okay. So I want to share with you, let's see if my screen is working here. There we go. Cool. This is the dream customer or the dream market research document. And I will give you this if you want this. So this is the first document, or one of the first documents that you'll get, to basically give you an idea of here's how you get market data. There's a couple of different places up here where if you have the best places are when you have your own data, which is on surveys and interviews you've done, maybe Zoom calls, email conversations. Always, always, always get permission to record, by the way. And you're not using this data outside except for the stuff I'm going to show you here. This is what I've been doing for years. I have data. I have so much data on everything because I record everything, I capture everything, and especially when you are in conversations. This is one of the biggest things that I teach in all of my Atlas, for all my Atlas clients, is how to get the client data. Because yes, AI is here and it's here to stay, and it's great because it will help you analyze things really, really quickly. I use it as a tool. I use it as now my brainstorming partner, but you still have to put data in. I'm going to show you like live how we're going to do this and how fast this will be as a demonstration, but you have to have that data first. And so you still have to go get the data, right? Thank you for the thumbs up. Am I seeing, let me just see here. Don't know who that is, but thank you for the props. And okay, so you have a question, let me know, or feedback or anything like that, let me know. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna zoom out of here and I'm gonna go to the other one. Maybe that's in the Facebook group. I just wanna make sure. Okay, then I'm on the right one. Yeah, it might be this one here. Okay, cool. So hashtag live, hashtag replay. Now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back to this, and this is the dream market research. So if you have all of this, if you have some of this data, that's fantastic. And then if you don't have client market data, I'm giving you some areas of, where to look for, what to kind of look for, the what to look for, the biggest problems, complaints, like, the general stuff when you're doing market research, and what to look for. And I want to highlight this for a second, because this is truly, truly important. I think I should actually highlight this even more, because this is one area that we all get messed up on. And it's because we judge too much when we're looking at data, right? We're like, I'm looking for this specific thing, and we may go into a group, or we may go into, Amazon Books and try to look for something, and we're kind of filtering at that point, and that's not the way to do it. That's not the place where you're going to filter. I have what I call a copy bank. I'll show you that as well, where you're just dumping information. And it used to be more tedious to get the information out of that document, but it was still a pretty good process. So what I'm doing here is just make sure that you're not looking for answers. You're not looking for anything. You're just looking to capture data as stage number one. Okay. That's the first step. So I'll give you this and you can read this through. It's not very, very long, but really what I want to focus on is the how to analyze the dream client research. And I will give you this prompt as well as a gift, but this is what I'm talking about first. All right. This is a demo that I use this stuff as a demo when I'm teaching, or was teaching a lot of on the in the right marketing copy, and I do it also in Atlas. And you can see here that there's a couple of things going on here. And I learned this technique called progressive summarization from Tiago Forte. You probably know that name now through Building a Second Brain. And this is where I learned this from. And this is where I took it to the next level, which is, okay, cool, I can use this. So you can see here that this is just a document of just all kinds of different data from chats, from forums, whatever it is. And I didn't really worry about what it looked like. And you can see here that some of it's bold and some of it has, the highlight of yellow. And that's what progressive summarization is. So in other words, what I would do is I would go in, and this is what I teach everybody, is like, go in and just grab all the data, put it into a document like this. For me, it was Google. And it was like, okay, cool. And then you can go through and start summarizing it, which means you're pulling out the data that is relevant to you. So now you're going to look for filters, right? So if we go back to this document here, you can see that I'm starting to highlight or bold stuff that really pops out at me. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's a really cool way of the way they're saying this, because what you're looking for is how your clients or potential clients are communicating, are speaking, are what they're saying in the world, right? That's what you want. And if I'm telling you, if you do this, even if you did it for 2 to 3 days, if you spent a couple of hours, just copy paste, your life and your business will change. I'm telling you. So here's the goal of this. Let me go back to the screen. So then what I would do is go through all of this and start highlighting the things that would pop out at me. And then the next level of progressive summarization, as it was taught, was the yellow, the bold and the yellow is the next level. That's what you don't want to forget that. That's something where, yeah, I really got to use the way they said this thing. Okay. That's what the progressive summarization is. And you don't have to do this whole reading, or, at the time, it wasn't about doing this all in one shot, because, there's a lot of reading to do if you got a lot of stuff that doesn't really, is not affecting what you're doing. So you can do this in all kinds of, in different sittings. And the beauty of this is, if you think about it, let's say you stopped, right? Like, I don't know how much of this is actually, I think it's all done. There's only 10 pages here. Yeah. Right after here, you can see there's no more bowling. So let's say that this is where I stopped, and I know that I haven't finished the document. Then when I come back, all I'm looking for is, okay, I stopped right here. This means I got to continue going on here, right? So you know where you've ended this progressive summarization. Now, if this is all like, it's too much, like, wow, that's a lot of work. You're right. It is a lot of work. But now, with the power of AI, we can just now take this or all kinds of documents, and we can use it within the AI. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my new client research chat over here. This is in Chat GPT. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do this live for you. Okay. And I'm going to take that same document, which I've downloaded, and put it into a PDF. And if you want to know that here, what I did was, what is it here? This one here. So I went here and I just downloaded, into a PDF. It's so cool. Just download it into a PDF, save that on your computer. And now I'm going to drop it into here. But first, I want to copy the prompt, and I'm going to give you that prompt as well. Okay. Let me go over to my, where is my prompt over here? I got it saved over here in Notion. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put that in here. All right. So that's the prompt. And then, actually, I should have done this first. It doesn't really matter. I guess you can do it afterwards, but let's go over to my downloads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this demo PDF right over here. It's going to upload it. And then I'm going to press go. And then you're going to see what's going to happen. It's already looking for what I'm needing. So I'm going to do this. And now watch the magic. And in a couple seconds, we will get a whole bunch of different examples of language that they're using inside that document. Okay. And so you can see here that it's also separated out the goals and the aspirations. It's got common objections and beliefs. It's got desired outcomes and results. It's got emotional triggers and language patterns. And then it's going to ask, something else. It'll say, hey, do you want me to turn this into a messaging guide or a dream client profile? Hey, why not? Okay, let's try a messaging guide. Oops, messaging guide. I haven't done this before. I'm doing this live with you, but I'm just seeing what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. So there you go. See, just out of one document that I took, maybe an hour to a couple of hours to create, which is this one here. Okay. All of this stuff, it's now gone in and has given me, pretty good data that I could use. All right. So you can see here that now I can copy this into, another place where I usually hold my stuff within Notion, but I've got some really good language of how they are actually speaking. This is super important. This is why when I do any marketing or email writing or anything like that, I will often get people, not all the time, but sometimes they'll respond back and say, wow, it's like you're in my head. It's like you're reading my mind. And I am, right? This is how you do it. So it's the work that you do up front in order to use AI to help you do the analysis now. Like what used to take me days, even weeks of progressive summarization now can be done in less than a minute, like you just saw. And yes, there's a couple more things you can do to it to pull and extract and all these things, but you can see here that on this one extraction, I've got a really cool idea. So here's clarity and simplicity in niche. If I could only get clear on my avatar niche so I can sell my product, I want to start with one niche and grow from there. Look, this is what I mean. So an example of this would be if you think, let me keep it here. I could really start a post that says, hey, if you could imagine if you can get clear on your avatar niche so you can sell your product. Like it's using the exact language that they're using. Does that make sense? That's why this is so powerful. So if you want this document, just looking down here for any comments here or not. If you want this document and if you want the actual prompt that I'm using, with the attachment to the Dream Client market research, just drop in the comments, analyze. Use the word analyze or DM me the word analyze, and I will give you all of that stuff, everything I'm showing you here. And you can go in and start playing with this prompt here and get yourself pull some of the amazing client data that you can then use in your marketing. You can put all the language you're pulling out, like here, into Facebook posts, into marketing emails, into even some templates or whatever that you have from copywriting stuff, right? So a copywriting book or something you've taken before as a template. And now you can start inputting, because I always had problems with all the templates and great frameworks and everything that I used to get. Like, well, I don't know really what to put in here, but now you have the language and you can just insert them into those blank areas of those frameworks and templates. So there you have it. That's how you get customer language that is pinpointed that will directly speak to your dream clients. Because if you're pulling the right information from the areas that I'm sharing with you here, then they're already speaking it. They're already talking that language, and you will be able to speak the same language. Hopefully this helped you out. I will see you next week for another show, Heart-Centered Marketing. Bye-bye.